Now, let's talk about the banquet. That's just what it is. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. This grace that comes from God is not merely a ort or scrap or two, but rather it's superabundant. Everything that you want, God provides, and all that you need, God gives you. Then it goes on, the psalm does even more. Thou anointest my head with oil. Now in the ancient Near East, travelers were to have their feet washed. Travelers were to have their bodies nourished, in other words, fed, of course. And then travelers were also to have their heads anointed with oil. This was a courtesy that was given. And not only that, we also know, in keeping with the theme of the psalm, that when sheep were hurt or damaged or worn out, they would oftentimes be massaged with healing oils at days in to salve their bodies. And in a similar way, isn't that what God has done for each of us? Life is not easy. The older you get, in my opinion, instead of becoming easier, it becomes a little harder. It becomes more difficult. And yet that's exactly the time when I find that Christ is even more active in my life, taking care of my nicks and my dents and my bruises, and bringing me the balm that takes care of me and that restores me. Now, I know that the Lord is my shepherd, and because of that, I don't need anything. I know that the Lord makes me, because I won't do it myself, makes me lie down and relax, makes me lie down in green pastures. I know that the Lord leads me beside and to places that are quiet and nourishes me with goodness. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the ways that are correct, the paths of righteousness, because that's what he is about, is the right way. Jesus is the way. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, it means that seriously. When I have to confront my life with death, I'm not going to be afraid of it at all. And I'm honest about that. This doesn't concern me. When I was a young man, I was maybe 25. Went to the doctor and said, I think you've got a particular form of cancer. It scared me then. Doesn't scare me now. Doesn't scare me now. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I what? Fear no evil. Why? For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they what? Comfort. They comfort me. Now, thou preparest a table where, Hilda? In the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. Now, because all of this has been done, surely what's going to happen to me? Goodness and mercy will follow me. When?
All the days of my life.
You mean more than today? When? All the days of my life. And I will live where? In the house of the Lord. For how long? Forever. Yeah. I will live in the presence, in other words, of God forever. I will live in the presence of the Good Shepherd forever. Now, I encourage people, as I did last week, to take the 23rd Psalm to heart, and then to take Philippians 4 and reread that. And what you can do, this is not a judgment call. We don't, in this church, we don't talk about shame or fear or guilt. But a good way, it seems to me, to figure out where you are in your relationship with Christ is to say, okay, where am I? And, when I have to look at death straight in the eyeballs, where am I? When everything is taken from me, where am I? my relationship with God when my body is racked with pain? Where am I when my friends have deserted me or my spouse has left me or whatever it might be? Where am I? And that will tell you where you are in your relationship with Jesus Christ. And if you're deficient in that, then maybe you need to work on your relationship with Jesus Christ. This is good news, and it's a beautiful day, isn't it? Beautiful rainy day. Thank you so much. If you'd be so kind, we'll close with singing of hymn number 397. And again, I want to thank our harpsists for coming today and sharing these gifts that we've received from grace from you. And please enjoy the refreshments, thanks to the Hamels following this morning's worship service.